On a muddy field in eastern Ukraine, a 58-year-old tank, a Soviet design from 1966, rolls forward into contact. 64 was supposed to be obsolete. Replaced. Tied to a museum. Dead, it's still the most feared anti-armor platform on the modern battlefield. And here's the paradox, it's old because it's too expensive to replace. Welcome back to the War Report. I'm your host, and today we're breaking down one of modern warfare's strangest contradictions. The T-64 entered service in 1966. It's nearly 60 years old. By every measure of technological age, it should be obsolete. Newer tanks exist. Better tanks exist. Tanks with superior armor, firepower, and systems. The T-80 replaced it. The T-90 improved on that. The West has the Leopard 2, the Abrams, the Challenger. Modern, advanced, superior in almost every way. But here's what defense planners don't want to admit: you cannot replace a tank faster than you can lose it. In the Ukraine conflict, tank losses run at rates unseen since World War II. Russia has lost thousands. Ukraine, despite smaller forces, cannot afford to lose any. And when they look at replacing their T-64s, the math breaks. It breaks hard. A new main battle tank costs between $5 and $10 million. A new tank factory takes years to build. A new design takes a decade. Modern production capacity globally? Maybe 200 tanks per year per factory. But Ukraine needs thousands. So the T-64 doesn't stay in service because it's good. It stays in service because the alternative is mathematically impossible. Upgrading an existing T-64? $500,000 to $2 million. Building a brand new tank from scratch? $5 to $10 million. And that's if you already have the factory, the supply chain, the expertise. Ukraine is at war right now. Every dollar spent designing a new tank is a dollar not spent on ammunition, drones, air defense. Every year spent on development is a year the T-64 is in the field, or lost. The economics aren't even close. You can upgrade 5 to 10 tanks for the cost of designing one new one, so replacement isn't a tactical decision. It's a financial impossibility. The T-64 survives because the cost of replacing it is higher than the cost of keeping it operational. Here's the bottleneck nobody talks about: modern tank factories are slow. A state-of-the-art tank factory produces maybe 100 to 200 tanks per year. The Malyshev factory in Ukraine, which built the T-64, is currently damaged from Russian strikes. Even at full capacity, it cannot produce tanks faster than they're being destroyed. Russia, with more factories, is producing T-72s and T-90s at higher rates, but still nowhere near fast enough to replace frontline losses. At current consumption rates in Ukraine, it would take decades to build enough new tanks to replace what's been lost. So what do? You keep the old ones running. You upgrade them. You train crews on systems that have been proven in combat. You work with what you have because you don't have time to replace it. There's another factor defense planners underestimate: institutional knowledge. Every tank in service has crews trained on it. Maintenance manuals written for it. Supply chains established for its parts. Battlefield tactics refined around its capabilities. A new tank isn't just a piece of equipment. It's a reset button on your entire military apparatus. New training programs. New maintenance doctrine. New parts sourcing. New tactics. In peacetime, you can absorb that transition slowly. In a war of attrition which Ukraine is fighting, you cannot. The T-64 stays operational because Ukrainian crews know it. Mechanics can fix it with parts that exist. Tactics have been developed and tested. Switching to a different tank mid-war means training new crews, sourcing new parts, and rewriting the playbook while shells are flying. The cost of that transition, in time, lives, and effectiveness, is higher than the cost of keeping the T-64 in the fight. And here's what makes this story even stranger: the T-64 is still performing. Upgraded Ukrainian T-64s, equipped with newer optics, fire control systems, and veteran crews, are trading effectively with Russian T-90s. The T-90 is newer, it's more advanced. On paper, it should dominate, but the T-64 has advantages: a smaller profile, harder to hit, veteran crews who've learned how to use every advantage of the platform, better situational awareness in some cases, tactics refined through 2 years of continuous combat. The paradox deepens: that old tank isn't just surviving. In some engagements, it's winning. This isn't because the T-64 is secretly better, it's because warfare isn't decided by specifications alone. It's decided by crew training, doctrine, logistics, morale, and the ability to sustain operations. The T-64 wins because Ukrainian crews have learned to fight with it, because the supporting systems are in place, because replacements don't exist. Obsolescence, it turns out, is a luxury only peacetime militaries can afford. The T-64 is the symbol of a larger truth in modern warfare: you cannot innovate faster than you can lose. This applies beyond tanks, fighter jets, warships, artillery. Once you're in a war of attrition, you stop designing the future. You maximize what you have. You upgrade. You adapt. You survive. The T-64 will likely stay in Ukrainian service for decades, not because military planners prefer it, but because the alternative, replacing it with something new, is strategically, financially, and logistically impossible while shells are falling. It's a tank from the Soviet era, proving that sometimes the greatest weapon isn't what's newest. It's what you have, what works, and what your enemy can't take away fast enough. So here's the question for you: if the newest isn't always the best, what does that say about how we think about military superiority? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of these strategic shifts in modern warfare, subscribe to The War Report. We break down the real story behind the weapons that define conflicts. I'm your host. This is The War Report, and we are just getting started.